Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on the programme. Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson are with me here in the studio to talk all things football. Over the weekend, we've got the League Cup second round fixtures, and we'll look back at the Europa League. Two clubs still in the competition from Scotland, sadly. Two now gone. We'll discuss that very shortly. Before we get into the meat and bones of Rangers and Hibs, here's our teaser question tonight. Okay guys, if you two get that wrong, there's something seriously wrong. You just don't know your football. Are you confident you can answer that by the end of this programme? Barry Ferguson?
Yep, I'm confident.
Ruffy?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. Well, we'll come to you first for the answer. Give us your view on football issues, your favourite team or something that's bugging you. You can do it on PLZ Soccer's Facebook channel. You can do it on Twitter and our YouTube channel as well. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, we're going to look back at last night, and first and foremost, we're off to Slovenia. Well, I have to say, Barry Ferguson, it was your old mate Alan McGregor producing a masterclass.
Yep, I says when Rangers were interested in signing him, when they actually signed, I thought he was going to be the best signing that Steven Gerrard would make this year. And it's proved so far this season. He's been, I know it's early into the season, but for me, some of his displays have been top class. And last night again, some of the saves he makes. It's not just that he's, for me, a top-class goalkeeper. It's the type of character as well. You see him on the pitch, he's driving all his teammates on, he's always talking. And I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted he's got his move back to Rangers and he's shown what a top-class keeper he really is. Steven Gerrard said, Ruffy, he thought, he wished he was 10 years younger, McGregor. He was that good. I still think he's got another 3 or 4 years in him.
Yeah, I think he's moved up the pecking order in the Scotland shout as well. I think the form that he's on, I think Alec McLeish will have a hard decision to make when the first game comes round. But last night he was superb, and it just shows you now that clubs are now being more and more aware that if you don't have a top-class goalkeeper, you're not going to win games, you're not going to win important games. You can see the money they're spending down in England for goalkeepers now, it's going right through the roof, and not before time. But Alan McGregor probably would wish he was 10 years younger as well, because
you get a move.
Yeah, you want to keep playing, because obviously he is, what's 35, 36?
36,
yeah. No, I'm sure he can keep playing. He looks a fit guy.
Yeah. Over and above that, I mean, we've got to look at the positives. Well, trying to keep a lid on this, but some Rangers fans are now going into overdrive with this. Steven Gerrard's trying to keep a lid on it, enjoy the moment. There's been a lot of negativity over a good few years. It's all about just progressing. It's the old cliche, one game at a time. They now know they've got Ufa, the Russian side. But what else impressed you about last night, Barry?
I'm just looking at the Rangers. When I'm sitting down, if this was the same time last season, I'd be worried watching Rangers. For me, watching them now under Steven Gerrard, they look a well-organised, well-drilled team for me, well-disciplined, all the things that a good team should be. And there's obviously a lot of work goes on in that training ground. Because as you've said before, 11 new signings. it takes time for them to settle in. But he's obviously putting the work on the training ground, and for me, they're starting to show signs that they could be a really good team. But again, I'm not getting overexcited. It's a work in progress. It's still early doors, but there is really good signs that Steven Gerrard's got a real good team there.
Yeah, I know you're trying to keep a lid on it. I thought the Union Jack and, of course, the Rangers scarf coming into the studios was a wee bit over the top, Ruffy, to be perfectly honest with you. But listen, as far as the back line's concerned, that's now 3 goals conceded in 8 games. It's good going. They've managed to solidify it. The one guy I'd like to mention, and this is only because he was, I think, at times given a hard time last season. And again, he put himself up there for Rangers last night in a left-back role where clearly Maribor were going at him. I thought Andy Halliday deserved a bit of credit because that boy's been under the cosh, especially last season.
Yeah, he got a lot of unfair criticism. Obviously, it never worked under the previous manager. But listen, he came in and done a job. He's played that when he was a young kid. He was more a left-back, left-sided player. I know he's lately turned into a holding midfielder, but I thought he done really well last night. As you says, I think Maribor targeted him early doors down that left-hand side of Rangers, but he coped it really well, and I'm just delighted for him that he put on a decent performance last night, because it's important that when you do pick up injuries and suspensions, that the guys that are on the sidelines are ready to come in and fill the gap in.
Yep. OK, if the high was Rangers in Slovenia, the low was almost certainly Hibernian in Norway against Molde. Ruffy, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I looked at that scoreline and I was gutted with it because I seriously thought Hibs could get a goal over there. I watched the highlights of it. They had a couple of good chances to score, and the goals they lost were, I mean, it was just comedy stuff.
Yeah, and you could tell Neil Lennon was trying to be positive after the game, but I think he'd be disappointed. I know when you lose the first goal, they'd be saying to themselves, look, we're still in it, we're still going to get chances. If we get another goal, we could be through. But I think the second one was the crucial one. I don't think there was any way back after that one. But it's the same old feeling, I think without the boy McGregor, I think he's a solid rock in there. I think he's a bit vulnerable. Obviously, if Andrew's in the middle there, it just looks just that wee bit vulnerable. And again, they've lost 3 goals, so it's something Neil will have to work on.
A lack of experience and oomph is how Neil Lennon described it. Suddenly, the manager will realise, the achievements of last season, the plaudits that were coming their way. He knows better than anyone that all of a sudden there's levels that he's trying to get Hibs to. Yep. You can't be losing 3-0. I thought it flattered Molde as well. Yeah,
I actually fancied Hibs to go over there and do it. But listen, Neil Lennon's no daft. He's experienced enough to realise that they still need a few players for me, Peter. I think they're still a bit short. Yeah. Obviously losing McGinn and McGeoch, who for me last year were top notch for Hibs. But he's come out and said that he needs to go, and hopefully the board, with the money they get in for John McGinn, the board will give him that money to go and strengthen in the midfield area and certainly at the back, because that's where I think they're struggling a bit at the back. They concede silly goals. I watched the goals last night, and 2 of the goals were, I wouldn't say laughable, but they were mistakes. Yeah. They should know that they don't need to concede this sort of goals. So I think that's an area where he'll be looking to improve.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you know, if anything, with Neil Lennon, because he adapts, he's the type of manager who looks and thinks, okay, how do I try and beat a certain side? He did it to great effect in European nights for Celtic. I think he'll look and say to himself, Ruffy, they've got to try and make Hibernian difficult to beat. And I think the back is where he should actually shut up shop. I'm not saying, you know, move away from some of the great football Hibs played last season, but just make them difficult to beat. And, you know, and I mean, it's difficult enough trying to get those players. I don't know how much money he's going to get out of the McGinn money.
Yeah, I think he's been very positive this season. You know, I think that Barry touched on two of them, but you add Scott Allen to that three of McGinn. You know, they were the three best midfield players I thought last year. You know, in any teams, I thought the midfield they had was magnificent. That's been taken away from him, and he's not moaned about it at the end. He's just got on with it. And obviously you want players to come in, but I just think if you look at their midfield last night, the big boy Bartley and the Lithuanian boy, that's no Scott Allen, McGinn and McGeoch.
No, Slivka and
Slivka
and Bartley are not going to thread a pass.
Exactly,
for you. I mean,
so that's been hauled away from him, and he's had to start from scratch again. I think Hibs have got at least 3 or 4 players away from where they were last year.
Yep, okay, it's a disappointment for Hibs there. We'll talk about them in the League Cup second round a little later. We'll get the predictions from the guys. I can tell you right now, Ruffy is Partick Thistle director. And Partick Thistle are playing Celtic, so I cannot wait to hear that prediction a little later on. We're also going to let you see the latest head-to-heads coming up a little later in the programme as well, because one of us has got a huge smile on his face at the moment. It's that kind of a condescending look, as if we're all chasing him at the moment. But as Ruffy will tell you, there's a long way to go, Ruffy. You know, you can fall flat in your face in this competition.
Yep, you certainly can, and I did it for 2 or 3 years, but I had one good year that I'm hanging on to. So, no, this is a new challenge for us.
Yeah, OK. Let's look at some of the transfer moves. One of them, Daniel Arzani, comes in. Not with much fanfare, I have to say, Ruffy. He's in on a 2-year loan deal from Manchester City. This link between the two clubs continues. I'm not going to tell you... I'm not even going to offer an opinion on whether he's going to be any good or not. I'm going to wait 5 or 6 games because, you know, I think right now the Celtic fans don't need any spin, you know, associated like Charlie Masonda's spin with this guy. Let's just wait and see what he does for them. Yeah,
well, we got a slight glimpse of him during the World Cup, you know, and everybody was talking about every time he went on the park, people were talking up that this is a new sensation. So Celtic are very fortunate they're getting him. Again, it's where they're going to play him, you know, and when they're going to play him, you know, because the other signings, the loan signings, were very sparingly used. If this is the real deal, I think the fans want to see him. Let's see.
They're going to play him. They're going to play him in the wing, and him and Forrest will switch sides, alternate. I think he's just one of those. I think it's just another kind of a Patrick Roberts style, and they're hoping if he's as good as Patrick Roberts, then, you know, I'm not saying he's the same style as him, but he's certainly going to go on either flank.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is I think the fans want to see him. You know, if he's as good as what everybody's saying, let's not see him sitting on the bench. Let's see him on the park, and that's not saying, oh, he needs time to settle in and hopefully he doesn't pick up an injury the way things have been happening. Let's see him hitting the ground running. OK, we can't let the chat around Celtic go without the ongoing issue, which is, of course, Dedrick Boyata. Chris Davis, the Celtic assistant, came out today and said he shouldn't be vilified. Now, this, for me, is Chris Davis trying a damage limitation. He won't be involved in this weekend's game against Partick Thistle. I still believe he won't pull on a jersey again.
I very much doubt it as well. I've got to agree with you, Peter. I think what's going on and what's been said for the manager before the Athens game, he's been fit, and Boyata saying he's no fit. I don't think he'll play with Celtic again. I think Celtic need to take the first offer that comes in from abroad, because I don't see. I think I read somewhere, I'm not sure what newspaper it was, that he's been training with under 20s. I'm not surprised at that, because we spoke about it in Wednesday. If I'm a player getting into Lennoxtown the day after that Athens game, I'm not happy with it. So I don't think it's correct to have somebody who's not fully committed to the team round about the guys that are committed, because it can just fester and cause problems. So he's better being away for that squad and let that squad just focus on the games ahead.
Yeah, his agent was in Glasgow yesterday. We'll have a frank exchange between himself and Peter Lawwell. I mean, I think Peter Lawwell will just say, right, okay, you know, this is not ended the way I want it to end. Time to ship him out. Time to get the club. This is what we want. This is what we're going to agree for the figure. Get the move going now and cut it quickly, as Barry said, it starts to fester.
Yeah, well, it's just got to happen before the end of this month, you know, and if it doesn't happen before the end of this month, then it is a long year, you know, for him to sit there, because obviously they have to wait to the next window. It's a shame, really, you know, because Brendan Rodgers keeps saying the boy's a decent lad. You know, every time he talks about him, he said he's a decent lad. So he's caught up in the agent thing and the bid thing. I think, okay, we all know he's done the wrong thing, but if he's as nice a lad as what Brendan Rodgers is talking about, maybe he's just been misled, misinformed. But he's got to go. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, I agree with Ruffy. I think I've heard a few people speak about and saying he's good about the dressing room. He was a good guy, good character. I just wonder if it's the agent that's getting inside him and saying this to him.
Yeah, well,
agents have got the power now.
There are two or three things that you don't know in this situation, and again, you know, everybody can. I think we've got to be very careful, and I've mentioned it on this programme this week, of jumping on the bandwagon of hammering someone because they're from foreign shores. Would we be as harsh on a home-based player? I don't know. You know, we've got to take a step back. You don't want, as Chris Davis said, the boy vilified, because you know there are people out there who can abuse players because they're painted in a certain fashion. You know it only too well yourself.
Exactly.
So what I would say is we don't know. You were going to say something?
No, I'm just saying the reason he's come out and done that is because he's got a fee.
Well,
no, he's got a fee.
But the point is, Ruffy,
if the point's been put out there, this is a bad apple, Seville or whoever it is have to say, wait a minute, we're taking him off your hands. We're not paying $7 million, we'll give you 5.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad apple. What I think's the problem that we don't know is we don't know what was the discussion initially when he first came in about, was there a fee agreed, and if it had hit a level that he would get a move? Has anything been discussed between the chief executive and the agent and the player at some point in the past that says, if you play this way and you get to a certain status, we'll get you the move, you can move, and we'll all get the cut. Everybody gets their cut. I don't know what's happened, and you also don't know, as you mentioned, Barry, you don't know how much influence the agents had in his head, saying, by the way, we're off to Fulham, and then suddenly Celtic pulled the rug from under his feet.
It's a hard one. Everybody's guessing what's going on. We'll only find out when
he leaves.
When he leaves, what's exactly going on. But I can imagine what's happened. I've been in situations, and players will tell you, been in situations. But I mean, I had it at Rangers when I knew I was leaving. We were playing Copenhagen in the Champions League qualifier. I knew 3 days before that I was leaving, but I still put myself out there to go and play out. I thought it was only right for me to make myself available. Now that was up to the manager whether he was wanting to play me or not, knowing that I was going to be leaving. But I just find it strange that for me, if it's me in that situation, I still put myself out there. I'm still contracted to Celtic. I would want to play.
You gave your all in that game.
Listen, you've got to go out and give your all. At the end of the day, you're still contracted, and they want you to play a game of football. So I was more than willing to go out there and listen. If it was a 50-50 tackle, I was still going in to try and win it. I wasn't going to try and pull out of that. Now, that's the only thing I've got with Boyata. Is it him, or is it the agents, or is it another influence outside of that? It's hard. It's a hard one for the boy, and it's a hard one for Celtic at this moment.
Did we not have the same scenario with Dembele when it came out that somebody was going to offer 25 million? And he sort of went, oh, my head's no in it, and I don't know if I should be playing and all that. That just seems to be the way it is now. You know, if the big lump of money comes in, you're obviously teased to take it, and yet your head's mixed up and you don't want to play.
Yeah, what's a big blump of money?
Is that 25 million is a blump. Is a
blump bigger than a lump?
Yeah, a big blump.
Okay. Lots of people obviously remember giving his messages, just reminding us about the game you played against Copenhagen. 2 stars out of 10 that night. You really gave your all.
I thought I'd get 3.
Did you? Listen, talking of giving your all, you're a happy man at the moment, because here's the three of us head to head. We're going all season, Ruffy. I hope you like what I've done. The three of us doesn't look good, but what do you make of that, Ruffy? You're trailing in third place in our prediction.
Yeah, obviously being a winner last year, you know, the pressure's on me this year. But it's a bad start, but it's only the first week.
Are you happy with the haircut that you have in that photo?
Happy with it.
Because you look as if Barry and me should just be taking you out for a day somewhere. Anyway, you're behind, but
Yes.
you can come back.
Yes.
Yep. Barry, I won it the first 3 years, and I was unbearable. And then last year, he just moved on. He absolutely wiped the floor with us all. I mean, he was sensational last year.
I'm looking forward to the challenge, but listen, I'm confident that I can take used to.
All right, then. Aberdeen against St Mirren. Who wins it?
Aberdeen win that game for me.
Gary Mackay-Stephen mentioned the fact that he thinks Aberdeen can win a cup this year. Do you think they've got enough?
Well, listen, they needed a new forward. I think the new boy that's come up from Man United will do the job. Listen, they're in with a shout. There's no doubt they've got good quality there. They have got a chance.
Okay, Aberdeen to win. I'll go Aberdeen to win. Ruffy, what do you say?
Aberdeen to win.
Ruffy, Dundee against Ayr United. And Dundee have just signed a player called Benjamin Kalman. This guy scored 8 goals in 20 outings for Finnish side Inter Turku. So Neil McCann clearly hoping he's getting goals from somewhere.
Yeah, well, in evidence the last week, Dundee are creating chances. All they need somebody to put it in the back of the net, and if he's the man, then I'm going for Dundee.
I'll go for Dundee.
Yep, I think Neil McCann's side that'll kick off their season tomorrow.
Okay, I'm firmly in the Hearts camp at the moment. They're playing well. I've said it since the start of the season. I think they'll win at Dunfermline.
Yep, I think they'll win as well.
So they are.
Okay then, Livingston, Motherwell. We were at Motherwell last week. I have to say, I am going for Livingston to edge it. I know that sounds controversial.
Yeah, I think they will go into the. Obviously, Motherwell will not be used to playing in Livingston Junior, so I'll go for Livingston.
Oh,
I'm going to go for a draw in that one.
a draw in that one. Okay, Queen of the South against St Johnstone.
St Johnstone just to nick it.
Yeah, I'm going to go for St Johnstone, Queen of the South. A draw, Ruffy?
A draw for me as well.
Yeah. Hibs against Ross County. I'm going to go for the High Bees.
Yep, Hibs.
Hibs for me, yep.
Okay, and also on the Sunday, Kilmarnock against Rangers. I think this one will be a draw. There you are. What about that turn of events? A draw for me. What about you?
Oh, I think Rangers will win that game.
Yeah, okay then. Look at him try. Look at him trying to keep a lid on it, by the way.
No,
honestly, see if we put a pin in you right now, you'd spontaneously combust. It's unbelievable. But,
Rangers 2-1.
oh, Rangers 2-1. There you are. Takes the heat off you. Okay, and the big one tomorrow. Are you wearing a suit for the food?
Well, I would have, but I've not had the invite, Peter.
Yeah, neither have I. Hugh McDonald's apparently had the invite.
All right.
So he's had the invite, and you and I are out in the cold.
The bottom line is Barry refused to go to the hospitality over at the Celtic end.
Yes,
Tell you the
that's a
truth.
that's a very good point. Okay, I'm going to go Celtic to bounce back with a win.
Yeah, I think Celtic win convincingly.
Ruffy?
It'd be wrong of me being a director to predict a score
Yes.
on there, so I think I should be given the chance to say
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
It'd be wrong.
oh,
It would send out
To be
the
honest
wrong
with
message.
you must have been a director for the last 5
Yeah.
years in this show. Then we
Yeah.
haven't had an opinion out of you on Partick Thistle. Anyway, we're going to let you off the hook, but we have his prediction on paper. So if he steps out of line, we'll release it. Listen, stay with us on the show because after it, you can find out how you can win a car. We had a competition with 10 strips as well, 12 strips, and we'll produce all the winners in that as well. And also the winner of our quiz at the start was Istanbul, is where Liverpool won the European Cup in 2005. From Ruffy, from Barry and myself, good night. The transfer window, sponsored by Arnold Clark, is giving you the chance to make your best signing of the summer.
You could win this fabulous Peugeot car if you can bend it like Beckham or swerve it like Messi.
To enter our free competition, click on the link and answer 3 very simple questions. It's a great competition. If you answer all 3 questions correctly, you're in the prize draw and you could be one of 10 lucky contestants selected to try and bend the ball through Peter and Ruffy's moving transfer window car. Now, you can do it on your own if you've got the skill, or you can select one of our former professional footballers to try and win the car for you.
It's the signing of the summer. Yes, what a shot, left foot, can't let you down. Fantastic, thanks Peter.
It's your chance to win your very own Peugeot in the transfer window, sponsored by Arnold Clark. Click on the link now.
Good luck.
Thank you very much from everyone at PLZ Soccer to all our entries in our Premiership Football